Welcome back, friends. Now that we have offered our user discount and we have also shown the user what are the different options available, it's time for us to take user's preference and update the shopping cart based on the preference that the user indicates for the discount. Now, it turns out that this part of the code is in fact extremely similar to what happened when we first took the order and updated the shopping cart. So instead of jumping into this, I would recommend that you revise that a little bit because this code is really very similar to that. And rather than creating more visualization, I'll just get on with the code because, like I said, we have done this before. So what I'll do is that I'll come to my code here. The code that I have now. Notice that we are offering the user a discount, and if the user wants a discount, basically we list out all the options that the user has. So for example, in this case, we are saying add 1 unit, say 2 units of milkshake, or go and add 2 units of ice cream, and so on and so forth. Now we want to know what the user wants to add, so I'm going to create a variable here called add-on. Now the location of this variable, more like the indentation of this variable is extremely important because we do not want this variable to be a part of the for loop, because remember the for loop here is being used to display all these things and also to append items to the list called add quant. But we want to complete all this, and then we want to ask the user what is the preference that the user has. So we must make sure that we are not in the same we are indented from the for loop, so we must be inside discount wanted. So let's see it more carefully. We must be inside the discount wanted, but we should be outside the for loop, which means I must indent myself at the same level as all these statements, which say print and say this for statement. So what I'm going to say is that I'm going to say, look, add-on is equal to, say integer, convert this to integer, and I'll say input, say, please indicate your preference, and I can just give a backslash. And now basically what this will do is that it will ask the user a question. Okay, what is it that you want? Now user is expected to put a number between 1 and 5, exactly as to what used to happen when we were first making an order. Now based on the user's preference, we must update the shopping cart, and just like earlier, there are two scenarios that come up. One, that the item that the user is requesting is a part of the shopping cart. Two, that this item is not a part of the shopping cart. So in fact, what we can do is to just go back here, go back to the code that we had used earlier, which is to to update the shopping cart. So over here, so we had, let's say, this piece of the code. So I'm just going to copy this entire thing. It makes life simpler for me because really the same thing is happening. We are just going to check if that particular item is present in the shopping cart or not, and accordingly we will act on it. Now only things I have to be careful is that there are certain things that have to change, because now we are no longer looking at order. In fact, we are looking at add-on, because remember, user is indicating the preference with this variable add-on. So I'm going to say, okay, look, if menu add-on -1, which means that the user answers 1, I'm going to look at menu 0, which is milkshake. If user answers say 4, I'm going to look at menu 3, which is eclairs. Exactly same as orders previously, because we make it natural numbers, so 1 2 3 4 5, but indexing happens from 0. So I say if menu add-on -1 is, say, in the shopping cart, so we can maybe write something here, say let's say previously selected item chosen. So what it means is that we have to figure out now where this particular item is in the shopping cart, and we have to just change the quantity in the list called shopping quant, exactly same as what we did when the user made a repeat order. We'll do exactly this thing. I don't need to, so maybe let's just print idx also just for the sake of it. But again, remember, this need not be add order, but in fact this has to be add on. So once I do this, now I must go and update the shopping quant, because basically this item was present. So for example, let's say milk, in this particular case milkshake was, there were 2 quantities present. Now user goes and say, okay, I choose to I prefer, let's say, option 1, which means 2 more units of milkshake. So what I'm saying is that the shopping quant at that index where menu add-on -1 was found, which is in this case 0, must go and update, and from 2 it should become 4. like I said, this is same as what we had done before. So what I'm going to do is that shopping quant index, I'm going to write it at, let's say shopping quant index plus, and now what should I add it to? Remember, user, these numbers here, 2 units, 2 units, 2, whatever, is just coming from the list add quant. So I'm going to just say add quant, and this also has to be add on minus 1. Now, why does this make sense? Because remember, user is just answering based on this list add quant. So user is no longer indicating how many units you want. In fact, the list add quant has already decided that. User is only indicating the preference from here. We have to add the item, add quant minus 1, add quant add on minus 1, because add on is the user's order and we are indexing into the list add quant to say, okay, user wants, maybe let's say if user wants, let's say 3, so enter 3, which means the user wants, let's say chocolate, and it must be 2 units. So add quant 2 will be that number, right? Logic wise is exactly the same anyway. Now, as always, we can also write this a bit more concisely, but we'll come to that a little later. Next, let's say so it's indicating some error over here. Okay. Okay, this is, okay, so the reason the error is this, right? This indentation is off. So I'm going to actually make this indent. Yeah, this is correct. Add on. X, you don't need to have. So this indentation has to be cleaned up, I think, because I copy and paste it. So something went wrong there. But I can fix that now. So all this has to be indented. Okay, of course, the else has to be indented here. And now, okay, there you go. So now it's all indented correctly. Let's say now the second scenario where the user chooses something that is not a part of the shopping cart already. So that, you notice, I was menu add-on minus 1 in shopping cart. We have taken care of the situation. If it's not a part of shopping cart, which means that we must now add this item to the shopping cart. So I can, like previously, use append, append function, but instead of order, I'm going to say append, say menu add on minus 1, which makes a lot of sense because again, everything now is not order, but in fact it's add on. And also to the shopping quant, I must append, as before, we will not be appending quant anymore, but in fact we'll be appending add quant, and this will be add on minus 1. And that's all we really need to do. In fact, we can now see this working. It's amazing how similar this part is to, let's say, what we had done before, right? So let's say if I now run this code, so let's say I come here, I say 1, say 2, say 3, say 4. Now let's say I say 6. So it tells me, okay, your total is 559.94. If you purchase for 1000 rupees, you will get a 10% discount. Would I like to take this offer? Yes, I would like to take this offer. If I do this, now I've got multiple choices. So let's see, maybe if I choose, let's say chocolate. So I say I want to add 5 units chocolate. I say 3. And now all I want is that, this particular item has been chosen. And remember, the index that we are printing is the index in the list shopping cart. So which means now if I look at, let's say shopping cart, then it is still milkshake and chocolate. However, shopping, say quant, has become 2 and 9. And why did it become 9? Because remember, previously there were 4 chocolates, and now through this process I indicated chocolate, and it was going to add 5 units of chocolate because that was what I had in the list add on, and that ensures that I'm going above the discount threshold. So that's why it has become 9. We can take the other case as well, where let's say it says 1 to 5 to select a food item. So I do the same exact thing again, 1, 2, say 3, 4. Now I click 6. I say yes, I want a discount. This time around, let's say I select an item which has not previously been selected, which means that I'm coming into the new in the else section. So let's say I go and say, okay, give me cupcake. So I say 5. Now it says new selection over here because that prints. If I do this, then I get milkshake, chocolate, and cupcake. And if I do shopping quant, I'm going to get 2, 4, and 9. Now notice this time around we have added the item into these lists, cupcake and 9, because it was cupcake that was being preferred by the user and 9 units had to be purchased. This is, like I said, exactly same as the handling of the order. But obviously we do not want our user to be, looking at the shopping cart, shopping quant in this way, which means that we can once again display the updated shopping cart for the user. Now this also is something we have done before. So I'm just going to take this entire code once again and display, so maybe I can just say, take this whole thing, in fact, print, say shopping complete, and display the entire shopping cart once again, and maybe including the grand total. So notice all of this going to happen again. uh, let's just see this code carefully. So I must come back and indent it properly this time round. It must be on if else discount. Okay, so I say it's proceed checkout, so I come out of this else and I go and paste this entire code. Now indentation is here is very, very important, because this code over here now is supposed to be completely over and away from this entire discount wanted business. So basically, if the user wanted discount or did not want a discount, either case, I want the shopping list to be displayed again. So I'm saying shopping is complete. I'm going to display, and once again I reset my variable grand total to 0 0.0, because I'm just going to calculate the whole thing once again. It just does it. In fact, it helps if you have a function to display the shopping cart. You can use that. You can just call that function. It will take care of everything. But let's just see this game. It's almost in a final stages now. Let's just see this thing working. It's interesting actually. So let's say I say 1, I say 2, say 3, say 4, say I say 6, let's say. Now it says your total is 559.94. Would you like to take any offer? Yes, I do want to take this offer. And let's say I want to add, so previously I had 2 units of milkshake, 4 units of chocolate. Let's say I go and say I want to add, 4 units of, so my preference is 4, which means I'm going to add 12 units of eclairs. This is not an item on the list, so it's going to add a new item. Notice that my shopping cart has been completed, displaying the shopping cart once again. And now I have my shopping cart, milkshake, chocolate, and additionally there is eclairs. Now really, this part of the program is something we're just reusing the old code, but obviously we have to modify it a little bit, and we have to worry about the indentation. So we have to be very, very clear of where we want something to happen. Indentation is very important. But beyond that, it's kind of like, let's say, something we have done before. And again, now my grand total has gone above 1000, and it's my commitment now to the user to offer discount. But remember, previously user was spending say 560, but now user is going to spend say something like 1015. Obviously I'm going to give a discount to this, uh, based on my commitment, but we'll come back to that in the next video. I hope this was useful. Take care. Thank you so much. Once again, make sure that you're indenting the code correctly, because that is all there is. You have to be very careful about. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.